by the water.
Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Bacon. Welcome to the show, y'all. Today I'm going to tell you a story about this guy. He's one of the guys. His name was Alex, right? And Alex was a money getter. I'm talking about he was one of the best money getters that I've ever ran across in the penitentiary. I'm talking about when he got money, he got real money. I'm not talking about no $200-$300. I'm talking about thousands stacked on top of thousands, stacked on top of thousands. And it wasn't no product that he couldn't put his hand on. Not a one. You name it, he had a connect on the town to get it. So everybody dealt with him in one way or another. And it was like he almost would take over the camp, take over the penitentiary as far as being the main one, or one of the main ones, supplying the whole penitentiary. But let me tell you what happens when you in the penitentiary and you set up shop like that. See, when you set up shop like that, they'll let you get your run in, right? And Alex would get a 2 or 3, 4 year run in, making plenty of money, and he would get comfortable. And just when he would get comfortable thinking everything was smooth, they come with this thing, what they call in the penitentiary, called population management. And let me tell you what population management is. Population management is when the institution, the prison system, will sit down and they will decide, okay, we're going to move everybody around. We're going to uproot everybody and send them in all different directions. And Alex would always get caught up in that. And before I go any further, I want to say something about that to you, because a lot of people won't really understand how devastating that can be to a person's psyche in here, whether they're doing wrong or not, because a lot of times more people get caught up in the population management move than the actual individuals that's doing all the dirt and causing all the problems. It's kind of like, let me give you the best example I can, the best comparison I can to this, right? You know, I know all of you have heard the stories about how our ancestors, at once upon a time back in the day, would be on a plantation or whatever, and all of a sudden the child would be taken away, or the father would be sent away, or the mother would be sold off, right? And that would be the end of it. And they would never see them again, and if they did, it was like in passing. You understand? And that's how it is when you get moved around in here. They uproot you, put you at another prison, and tell you to adjust. You just have to adjust to the situation and keep it moving. But what they don't see is how traumatizing it is to a lot of guys. Yeah, Alex, I get that he deserved to be moved. I understand what they were doing every time that he would get moved. But the majority of people that get moved around in these population management moves are not the movers and shakers. They're just individuals trying to serve their time and go home to their loved ones. These are individuals that are close to home in a lot of cases, right? They get moved all the way to the other end of the state, away from their family members. Or they get moved to a prison that's way more violent than the one that they just left. Or they get moved to a prison where they become the prey and everybody's trying to take something from them because they're the new kids on the block. They're the new meat. They don't know anybody. They got to go about the whole process of meeting and making new friends or associates. And that's very traumatizing to people in here. So again, that's another example of how being in prison, just the fact of being here, you're considered to be nothing but a number. You can be moved around at any time for any reason. You don't have a right to be at any particular prison. They'll uproot you and move you anywhere. And it's very traumatizing to people. But let's get back to Alex. Because Alex was the type of individual that he could adapt to any environment. Because his main focus was getting that bread. That's what he was about. And you name the drug, he could get it. He had a connection for it. And he would get it for the low. It was almost like he could make the stuff himself. Whatever amount you were trying to get, it didn't matter. He could get it. He could get it. And he sold it for the low. He put a little bit on top of it, you know what I'm saying? But he still sold it to you for the wholesale. He didn't, when he was in here, he didn't get out and sell sacks. He sold the weight in here. And then he would lean back. He kept the prison economy moving. He would supply the whole compound. And it didn't matter what gang you was in or anything like that. He was one of the guys, but he was about getting bread. He didn't care who you were, what you were, and what you believed, as long as your money was green. It was simple as that to him, right? So here, let me tell you what happened one time. Alex was on this particular compound, and they came around with the population management move, right? And he was on the bus. And everybody at the penitentiary, you know what I'm saying, that saw him leaving, they were down in the dumps because they were looking at it like, dang, Alex gone, so what we gonna do? But he had it so cold that he made sure that all of his mules, whether they worked for the prison or was in the prison, were still able to bring stuff in to people so he could get money. So them transferring him from one prison to the next only allowed him to expand his operation. Listen to me now. It helped him expand his operation. That's one thing that they didn't understand about moving him around. Yeah, we're in here and we don't have any say on where we go and what prison we end up in, right? But see, Alex had this way of understanding, if I get moved here, if I get moved there, I'm going to make sure I got roots at this place that I'm getting moved from so the money can keep flowing, and then I'm going to establish myself at another penitentiary, right? But let me tell you something. One time, Alex got sent to this prison. It's one of the toughest prisons in the state. I ain't even finna tell y'all the name. You'll know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all that's been locked up, especially in Tennessee. But he got moved to one of the toughest prisons in the state. And when I say tough, I'm talking about it was going down. Everybody in there, you had to go for what you know. You fighting every day. It's robbing every day. It's all kinds of stuff going on every single day at this particular penitentiary. But let me tell you something. When you get moved to another penitentiary and you're in a position like Alex, right? He one of the folks, but at the same time, he's not the 9. But he has enough respect that if he asked the 9 for a meeting and he want to sit down and map out something, man, look here, they did it. They did it. This brother was well respected because he gonna make sure everybody eat. And it's one thing about gang life. It's about who got their bag. They can tell you whatever they want to tell you, all this and that about honor and integrity and all this and that. Nah, it's about who feeding me. Who's going to feed you? And Alex fed everybody. He didn't care nothing about none of that. Didn't care nothing about none of that. But he made sure the folks would get it for the low. You understand what I'm saying? It didn't hurt him. He had so much. So here it is. Let me tell you something. When you go to another compound, you got to establish yourself. So he called for the sit down with the 9, right? He discussing with the 9 what he been up there about a week or two, right? He's seeing how this penitentiary runs, right? He's seeing that these 3 guys, right? Well, it actually was 2 guys. One dude named Rodney and the other dude named was JoJo, right? And Rodney and JoJo, they were the ones that was terrorizing the compound, robbing other drug dealers, robbing the guys that want to get high, messing up the prison economy. And what did I tell y'all in another episode that I did about the prison economy? Ain't nobody tolerating the prison economy being messed up. Because if you're messing up the money, you're making it hard for those that are trying to get money. But again, gang recognized gang. And Alex recognized how Rodney and JoJo got down. He respected that they were trying to get bread, but what he didn't respect that they was messing everything up. So when he sat down with the 9, he laid out a blueprint and he said, look, this is what we're going to do, folks. He said, we're going to get Rodney and JoJo and we're going to break them. He said, because at the end of the day, if we continue to allow them to terrorize the compound, they're going to mess the money up. And big folks, I'm going to say big folks, they called the 9 the big folks. Big folks knew what he was talking about. Big folks understood that. But he was a little reluctant to want to get into being right because Rodney and JoJo, they were the ops. They was in another gang. And he didn't really want to cross that line. Now, Alex understood that. So Alex told him, he said, look, let me go holler at the other heads, right? And I'm going to lay it out to them just like I'm laying it out to you. And he said, I guarantee you they're going to understand what I'm saying. Because it's about money. It's about money. If the money ain't moving, people ain't happy. If people ain't eating, then people get angry. And Alex knew that. So he went to the head of the Bloods, the Crips, the Vice Lords, and the Aryan Nations. You understand what I'm saying? And talked to all of them and laid it down, right? Because Rodney and JoJo was terrorizing everybody. all the customers, man. They were terrorizing all the customers. They would sit and wait for somebody to go buy something, and then they just get up and go rob them. Now, and what's sad about that, the dudes that were selling the dope, they knew that they were getting ready to go rob, but they didn't care because they had already been paid. So they sat back and watched the people that just bought some dope from them get robbed by Rodney and JoJo, and they thought it was funny. But really, I'm going to tell you something. When they would be laughing about it, you know, they had that nervous laughter. And see, when they have that nervous laughter is because you scared. You spooked. You laughing at the incident, but you just wondering in the back of your mind, when is it going to happen to me? But see, Rodney and JoJo, they were sharks. And you know, sharks is one of the biggest predators in the ocean. You understand what I'm talking about? They are predators. The only thing they understand is violence. That's the only thing they understand. You can't reason with them. You can't reason with them. So Alex, he's got all the heads together. All the heads together. And he's explaining to them, if we don't take care of them, it's always going to be a problem. And eventually, the sharks will come after you. And he's looking them in the eyes as he's talking to them and walking around, and they're looking at him, and everybody's paying attention because in their hearts, they know he's telling the truth. Now, another thing about Rodney and JoJo, they killers. They killers, man. So they know that if they do this, it's got to be real. You can't go to these dudes playing because they don't have no problem in doing it to you. They with that. They with that. So, see, everybody thought that they could appease them. As long as I get my money, I don't care what they do. But see, that's really messing up the flow. And Alex understood that. So he told them, let me get some goons. Let me get some goons from every organization. And let me take care of this. Let me take care of this. Now, this is a private meeting, y'all. I'm giving y'all what really go on in here, behind the scenes, man. Because it's about that money. So they give him the green light, and they tell him, but look, can't none of this come out. Can't nobody find out about this. Because if anybody find out about this, we all in trouble. We don't need this to get out across the state. So they all made an agreement to say nothing. Say nothing. Now see, what they didn't know is right then and there, they just gave Alex the compound. But he knew it. He knew it. But Alex wasn't interested in running the compound for the sake of running the compound. He trying to get that money. He trying to get that money. So he got him an 8-man hit squad. 8-man hit squad. And he said he gonna set up Rodney and JoJo, let them play themselves. Right? So he got one of the guys to sell some dope to these 2 lames, right? 2 peons. They ain't nothing. Suckers, really. You know what I'm saying? As far as the game go. But Alex knew that. See, because them sharks, they're gonna pick off the weak ones first. Now, if they got to go after the big prey, they're gonna go after the big prey. But if they can get an easy meal, they can get them an easy meal. So Alex said he set the table for them to get an easy meal. And they bit. And when they bumped down on him, Alex intervened. And he told him, he said, look here, man. Hey, he with me. Hey, look here. Rodney and JoJo looked at him and said, nah, he with us now. And you need to get on back. You ain't got nothing to do with this, folk. So he said, I got everything to do with this. So he told him, he said, look, man, why don't y'all come talk to me, man, later on, man, so we can settle this. Y'all ain't got to keep doing this. Y'all know who I am, right? They were like, yeah, we done heard about you. We know you shake the spot. He said, well, then why don't y'all come see me, man? If y'all come and see me, we can work all of this out. You ain't even got to worry about that no more. You ain't got to worry about running around here robbing nobody. So look, here go what Rodney and JoJo do. They sit down and they talk, right? And they discussing everything, and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, they start saying, look, he think he gonna be able to pay us off, buy us. So Rodney and JoJo, they said, man, we're gonna take his stuff too. See, they didn't understand that, you know what I'm saying, cutting off the hand is feeding you. They didn't understand, they predators, man. They sharks. They like the blood. They liked it. They like to see people suffer. Because that's what they were doing. They were suffering the whole time. So they want you to suffer. That's how they get out. So when they bump down on Alex and go to the cell, they walk on in the cell. And Alex lived in a big cell. And when I say a big cell, it's usually bigger than the average cell, right? You know, because he got money. He done got up there. He done bought him a cell. The dudes that was in there, they just moved straight up out of there. He bought the cell. So they go up in the cell. And he leaned back on the bunk, you know what I'm saying, looking at him like the fat cat he is, you know what I'm talking about? And he said, man, y'all sit down, man. And they looking around, they see the shelves is full, they see commissary bags everywhere, he got drinks stacked up in the corner all the way to the ceiling. This is back in the day when we could do it like that, right? They get in the way of us shaking the spot like that now, right? So he got everything up in there. He ain't been there that long. And they looking around and they licking their chops. They're like, yeah, we got us one. We got us one. And they looking at him, they sizing him up now, right? And Alex, he about 6 foot, maybe 5'10", 6 foot tall, you know what I'm saying, 170. He ain't no big dude, but he chopped because he do a lot of push-ups and pull-ups and sit-ups and all that there. He don't really just lift weight. It's just all calisthenics, but he chopped. But see, what they don't understand, Alex ain't no fighter. He ain't no fighter. Alex a businessman. He a businessman. A few minutes later, you hear a knock at the door. They don't even knock and wait for him to answer. That's what it was. They knock on the door and walk right in and say, what's up, folks? And one after the other, all 8 of them came up in there. And they surrounded Rodney and JoJo. Don't get it twisted, though. Rodney and JoJo don't go nowhere without that thing. Both of them packing. Butcher's long as from your tip of the finger to your elbow. I'm telling you now. And I'm talking about cutting. Cutting. You can cut your hair. You can shave with it. I'm telling you now. And they ain't playing with it. But them 8 goons that get around them, they all got that butchers too. And they tell them, lay it down, man. Lay it down. Lay it down. So they look at him. They sizing up the situation. Now, Alex, he's still sitting over there on the bed, right? He's sitting there chilling. He said, man, hey, lay that down. I just want to talk to y'all, man. Can we talk? He said, I know y'all coming up in here trying to take everything I got. You think I ain't gonna have backup? He said, but I just want to talk to y'all. So Rodney and JoJo, they fall for the okadoke. Lay the butchers down. When they laid the butchers down, one of the goons grabbed the butchers, put them to the side, right? Now Alex tell him, y'all have a seat. And he tell him, he read him the right. He said, look here, let me tell y'all something. All that running around, robbing and taking from everybody on the compound, he said, that's over with today. That's over with today. So they looking at him like, man, you can't get in our business like that, man. It's the penitentiary. He said, yeah, you're right. See, it's the penitentiary. He said, in the penitentiary, the big dog make the rules, right? So he's staring them down. They looking at, they want to try, but they know, they can't do it. You got 8 goons, man. And they understand the compound and how it works. So they looking at these brothers that's in this room, and they know it's one from every organization. And even the organization that they belong to. You understand what I'm saying? So they know this move had to be sanctioned. This move had to be sanctioned. They ain't just coming here like this. So they looking at him and they decide, okay, listen, we need to make sure we can get up out of this room. So he said, man, all y'all got to do is chill out. Just chill out, and I got you. And they're like, man, that ain't how we get out. And Alex knew they were going to say that. He knew they were going to say that. About that time, he tell the brothers, he said, y'all go on and get them up. Go on and get them. So all 8 of them, they rushing. And I'm talking about this going down. They bombing on them. But Rodney and JoJo, they fighting back. They ain't got no win, though. It's 4 on 1 person. They ain't got no win. And then they swinging them butchers at them, too, just nicking them, though. Because they been told, don't kill them. We don't want to kill them. So they hitting them with them things. Now both of them exhausted. They holding them up. And this is when Alex started to show out. He tells them, he said, look, every time I tell you that you're going to stand down, what you need to do is just shake your head. You ain't got to say nothing, just shake your head. He said, you going to stand down? They don't say nothing. They don't shake their head. Alex take it. He got this, it's kind of like a pipe, but it ain't a pipe. You feel what I'm saying? It's like a PVC pipe. It's that real hard plastic. It's not metal, but it's like the end part of it, right? And he take it. Every time they don't shake their head at him, he hit them in the side of the face with it. One at a time. Foul! Foul! And he said, look, I do this for fun, man. I do this for fun. Now they know that this ain't gonna end the way they think it's gonna end. Cause they thinking now these folks ain't finna let us up out of here. But Alex ain't trying, he don't wanna kill him. He wanna break him though. Because see, this is not about just Rodney and JoJo. He's trying to send a message to the whole compound. You gotta keep in mind, let me tell y'all something. Everybody that was in that room is affiliated with an organization, even the organizations that Rodney and JoJo belong to. You understand? So the whole compound is watching to see how this turn out. Because if it goes the wrong way, man, Rodney and JoJo finna terrorize everybody. So they know they got to make sure they break these two brothers off. And they end up breaking them off. I'm talking about breaking them off. The police ain't moving. The police is not moving. When they finish with them, they come up out of there, man. They soaked in blood. They soaked in blood. They don't even go to the clinic. They go back to their cell. They leave the unit and go to another unit and go back to their cell. Now the whole compound talking about how Rodney and JoJo got beat. And see, it's something about everybody knowing that you done got your butt whooped in here. It takes away your confidence. You could be the biggest goon in here. But once everybody know you can be cut, that you bleed like everybody else, man, look here. Even the smallest person gonna try his luck. See, that's what you just gotta see that they can be cut. You just gotta see that, and once you see it, they ain't scared no more. Well, nobody's scared of them no more. So they went at them. So now they feeling some kind of way. They feeling like, you know, that fear that they had over the compound is gone. It's gone. Now Alex, he go back to all the heads. And he tell them, this is what we're going to do now. Now, I'm going to supply every organization with whatever they need. This is capitalism at its best, y'all. Whoever can get it off. But the compound can hold it. And when I say the compound can hold it, what I mean by that, it's enough individuals on this compound, it's enough money on this compound for everybody to eat. Let's eat. Yeah, that don't mean it still ain't going to be fights and issues to come up. But we don't have to worry about people being terrorized after they buy no dope, though. That's all Alex wanted. The regular stuff that happened in the penitentiary is going to keep on happening. It's going to keep on happening. But here's the thing. After about 6 months, things start going south. The organizations do what they do. They start beefing with each other real tough. So folks now, they bump down on Alex. And they tell him, man, look, you need to quit supplying these other organizations. You need to quit supplying them. And he tell him, he said, nah. He said, hey, folks, I'm getting my bread. This is how I do. I'm getting my money. He said, I'll cut y'all off before I cut everybody else off. If it's going to be a problem. Folks them didn't like that. They ain't like that. Because Alex think he running something. He ain't denying. He ain't now one of the POAs. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You understand? He ain't got no position of authority. That's what a POA is. He ain't none of that. And he liked it like that. But when he talked back to folks them like that, folks them took that some kind of way. They don't forget, without him, they don't eat. You understand what I'm saying? They started thinking that, you know, they got a lot of money now. They make a lot of money. Some of them still got their own little moves, but ain't nothing major like Alex. So they feeling like they don't need him, but they want to get all the money now. They done got greedy. They don't want none of these other organizations to eat the way they're eating. You feel me? And you know how that goes, man. Now it's time to go to war. And Alex is caught in the middle. So what does he do? You're going to come back and check out the next episode to find out what's going to happen, right? It's a good one. It's been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.